welcome back to our channel. It's your girl Tama Stitches. So today I want to show us how to draft a beautiful short gown that's going to be fully lined, and then it's going to be having a beautiful sleeve. The sleeve is going to be a half circled sleeve, or I can call it a bell hand, a bell sleeve. So stay tuned while we start. If you are joining us for the first time, you are highly welcomed. Then the old subscribers, thank you for always being there for us. We're needing some basic measurements. We need the shoulder, the bust, the waist, the hip, the full length, then the sleeve length. Then we'll now get our elbow circumference, because that is where we'll be attaching our sleeve, our bell sleeve from. Stay tuned. So to get the width of the material you need to use, I'm using the hip plus 2 inches. So the hip I'm using here is 48 plus 2 inches, that will be 50. By the time you finish dividing it, you'll be getting 15 inches. So here now, in a fold, don't forget you always fold your cloth into 2. In a fold now, I have 15 inches. So here now is my shoulder. I'm going to be removing just ½ inch to be my start line because of the label on it. ½ inch. Always try and remove the label in your clothes before you start cutting. And then I'm cutting with the back. So this is it. This is our start line now. So the shoulder I'm using now is 17 inches. The bust is 43. The waist is 37. The hip I'm using is 48. The sleeve length I'm using is, the full length of the gown is 44. So from here now, what I have here is, I have 45, the full length of the gown. So by the time I use 1 inch to turn, it will be 44. So let's insert our vertical measurement. From our shoulder line here, we have our chest line. Our chest line here is 9 inches. The bust point here is 10.5. The waistline, which is the half length, is 17, but I'll be adding ½ inch here. That's 17.5. Then the hip I'm using is 25 inches. The hip I'm using here is 25 inches. Then the full length. I don't like to mark too much chalk when I'm using a customer's clothes. Then we'll roll the lines out. You can see our lines here. And the hip. Good. So let's insert our shoulders. Shoulder I'm working here with is 17 plus ½ inch join allowance. I use 9 inch. And same here, I'll bring it down here. Okay, this is our chest line. I didn't mark out our bust point because I don't really need it on this clothes. Then the waist we are dealing with here is 38 divided by 4 plus 1 inch sewing allowance. That will be 39. So by the time I run my tape, it's easier that way. I'll be getting 9.5. I'll insert it here. Then the hip is 48 divided by 4. That will be 24 divided by 2. That will be 12. Our hip is 12 here. Then the bust I'm using here is 43. Let's say 43 divided by 4. Get used to me using my tip or around the calculator. I want you to learn it. So that would be 10.5 plus 1 inch sewing allowance. That would be 11.5. I'll insert it here. Then whatever I have here, I'll minus 1 inch from my hip. I'll minus 1 inch from there, and that will be my hemming circumference. So here, I can minus or I can add to it. So let me see if I want to make it a little bit flared out here now. Okay. So since I have 12.5 here, I could come here now and use the whole length I have, which is 15. But I will not want to do that. I'd rather transfer what I have here to this place. Okay. So this is going to come in a straight line on the full length to the hip. I join that. And from the bust here, to avoid it not to be too shaped, I'll be adding 1 inch to my waistline so it can come out a little. It's too shaped inside. Okay, then I'll join it now with this my hip ruler. I'll join it to my hip now. Okay. Can you see how beautiful it looks? Now let me insert my armhole. I always want to come up here at this angle by 1 inch, so I have that nice curve. I'll place it like this. And this will serve as my back armhole. For the front, I have to come in here by a 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch. That's after getting the center. Shoulder slant here is 1 inch. Don't forget that part. So the center here now will be 18. So center here, sorry, will be 4 inches. So I come in by 1/2 inch and then connect it back to my armhole. So I have 2 measurements here, which I need to work with. Good. So I have this as the front armhole, and then I have this as a back armhole. Now the neckline I'm using here, I'm using 3.5 inches by 5 inches. 3.5 by 5 inches. That's for the front. But for the back, I'll be using 1.5 inch or 1 inch, depends on you. So I'll join it to take off. I'll join the other one also, like so. So here I have the front, the back, and the front neckline all drawn. Don't forget to join your shoulder slant too. After joining that, you're going to be adding 1/2 inch to join the shoulders. Use your free hand and get it. Okay, so I'm going to be cutting it off now, and then I'll use it to cut the back. So here now I've cut the front and the back. Like you know, the front is always different. For here, the difference here is the zip allowance, but the same size and everything I'm using here. I just traced out the front and the back and then added my zip allowance. So now I'll be cutting the sleeves. Here now I want to cut my bell sleeve. You know the bell sleeve that I'm using comes after your armhole. That's by your armhole is where you calculate, you run the tape and get the circumference there. Like here I have 12 with, and it's free. So if I want to make it tighter, I can go for 11.5, but here I would prefer to use it 12.5 or 13, so that when I finish gathering it, I'll not place it well to sit in well. Here. So I'm using now, let me use 12 inches. I'm folding my cloth in a bias form, has this sharp edge here. So I'm getting half circle, not full. So I'll throw my tape here and see what I can get. Here I have 7, so I'll mark it like this. So to cut this now, I'll be inserting, because the armhole circumference I have here is 12 inches. I'll be inserting 1 inch allowance to it, and then I want to add another 1 inch so it will sit in well. So I'll be marking that here. Put it around and mark it. Then I'll come to the full length I want. I'll be using 10.5. I've already marked it here already. So let me cut it out so that I see how it looks. So I've gone ahead to cut the upper part of the sleeve, then the lower part of the sleeve. That's where we'll have the peplum, the bell. Now this is it, the half circle. And see how beautiful it looks. So it's going to sit in well. I'm using lining to turn all my clothes today. So once I turn it, I'll show you before I join everything. So we are done cutting. Here is our front and here is our back. Like I said, the back has its allowance for here. Then I have my belt. I'm going to be inserting a belt. It's going to be on it. Here's my long strip of belt. I cut 7 inches because I'm going to be folding it into 2. I want it to be a big belt. It's going to be on it. Then here is our sleeve. I've cut our sleeve. Here is the upper part. You can see this is the upper part, and here is the lower part after the elbow. It's flayed. I'm going to be attaching it like this to this. So that is it for today. Thank you for watching. If this tutorial has been helpful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and press the notification bell. That bell there, just press it so that once we run any new video, you'll be notified immediately. Thank you for watching. Stay safe. Tama Stitches love you all.